Hey, it's MK, and I am back with another pin inspiration from off my board. And today I'm going to use this really cool photo where at the bottom of the footboard is these three little, I don't know if they're candles, decorations, whatever. I'm not sure, but I'm going to use that as inspiration on this layout. Now I'm continuing with the little kit that I put together for, I believe it was yesterday's. I think it was yesterday's that I started. For the series of photos that I have of a work trip. So I brought my family in to basically take a tour of where I work and the environment that I work in, the equipment that I work with, so on and so forth. And so we actually spent a lot of time at what we call the ambulance barn, which is actually the MERT building. So it's the Mine Rescue Emergency Building. But we call it the ambulance barn just because that's where the ambulance is, even though everything else is stored in there as well, which I think I explained yesterday. But the reason why we did is because of the fact that it started to rain on us. So these are a couple of the photos that I'll be working with today, which is some of them are through a really dirty window because no matter where you drive on these mine sites, your car's not going to be pretty anymore. So some of these photos, you could barely even see what it is unless you're up close and personal to the photo. But I am going to actually document what's in the photo as I go along when I scrapbook. So what I'm doing is I'm taking these two pieces of paper. Again, all of these things, except for a few embellishments, came from my Not Just for Boys Kit Club kit. And basically, I didn't like the backside of the word paper. And this other paper, I don't know, it's called Oxide from Ella and Vive, and it is actually white on the other side, which I could have used, but in my 2x2 squares, it would have been very, very plain. And I don't think if I would have just used this word paper in the 2x2 squares and then have white in the two photos. So I definitely wanted the words all the way around the photo. So basically, my 2x2 squares need to be decorated. And at first I thought putting a huge title going all the way across, but the other page that this will be next to, which is the other pocket page, it has a title on it. And it's like, I don't really want to do that. Not really. So I thought I would just take this opportunity and decorate the squares. Now I'm not going to decorate every single one of them because again, my Pinspiration only has the three little, I don't know, they're candles, pieces of blocks of wood with string around them. I'm not really sure. I can't really zoom in very well because it pixelates after a while for me to really see what it is. But I think it's a neat design, even though I can't really tell what it is, which is fine. I'm not putting candles on my layout. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to keep the paper in order so that way it looks good on both sides because they're cohesive and the print matches. But what I did to break up that print just a little bit is I flipped a few of my words and put them on the other side of the page, and I brought the oxides over to this side of the page. So I'm going to work on one side of the page before the other. And what I do is I stick all my papers inside the pockets so that way I can, I don't have a whole lot of shifting elements except for what I'm trying to envision of, how it's going to look on the photo, what it's going to cover up, things like that, or in the pocket. Now I'm going to have the 2x2 squares, the label that I'm going to do, which are the labels that I cut up from my no waste packaging from all of these really cool embellishments that I get from the Not Just for Boys Kit Club, which I think are pretty amazing. Plus, I also needed a project that would help me use them up because I have quite the stash, which is good because they're very versatile. I could use these on almost every layout until I run out. And I think it'll be okay because of the fact that they just blend really well with almost everything that I scrapbook about. So anyways, I'm going to be using up quite a bit on this layout. I don't use them all, but I'm happy to use them up. And so because of my Pinspiration, I have decided that I'm going to have my labels go up and down on my 2x2 squares and go across the 2x2 squares. So when I go and start actually putting them together, I'll show you how I put them together. Right now, I'm going to just do a little teeny tiny label with a few, it's a gear and then a cork star to just go ahead and mark what it is that I'm looking at, what's in this photo, because the mind sites they're clustered. They are, I don't want to say that they're the way that they need to be, because you work in such a compact space, but when you take a photo of something, it's kind of hard to tell what it is that I'm taking a photo of. And so I wanted to document that. This one here happens to be just a haul truck, and it's not just a haul truck, it's a specific type of haul truck. So I'm going to write down what it is. And then I almost forgot to write why I took a picture of this truck. It used to be my old work truck while I was still in the field. I didn't get a picture of what I used to drive, my service truck, because that was loads and loads of years ago. But I think the last set of work photos that I actually scrapbooked, I did take a picture of the work truck and it already documented that. But for this go around, it was this, just this I think it's an F550 or an F350. I think it's an F350, with a flatbed and some, I forgot what they're called, toolboxes on the back. Because I went from, working out in the field to being an inspector, which is kind of cool because you're identifying the problem before it becomes a problem, and bringing the truck in to get fixed, or the equipment in to get fixed before it becomes a breakdown. So I thought that was a pretty cool, important part. Plus, it led me to be a planner, because now I get to plan the jobs that I found. And well, actually, no, before that I was a parts expediter, which was kind of cool because then I ordered the parts. And, ordering the parts is pretty important because of the fact that you don't want to get them wrong, because we have so many different models of so many different pieces of equipment. And knowing what model you have and the right parts to get is a pretty important job too. I just loved how I went through job to job and was able to experience it all from the floor up, is what I call it, or the ground up. And it was great, you guys, all the way up to, I got to work for the regional office. So it was an amazing job. I just cannot, regret working for this company. I absolutely loved it, every minute of it, and every chance I got to document it, because you're not technically allowed to take photos. But me being special, I was constantly requesting bringing my camera in all the time. So, and they were used to it. These are my personal photos for my scrapbooks, and I can't imagine some major company coming in and watching me scrapbook these photos just so they can get an idea of what our mine site looked like. I mean, I don't get it. But, all the conventions that we went to and things like that, we shared that kind of stuff. We just didn't take photos and show everybody every detail of it. But we were wide open and shared how we did things. And we went to reliability conferences and things like that all over the world. And basically because we want to be safer for our company, and we want our employees to feel safe coming to work and things like that. And if we don't have reliable equipment to work on, then our people aren't going to feel safe to come to work. And so anyways, wow, that was massively boring, and I went through all of my slots to fill without even talking about it, but that's okay. I get to do it again. So for this one, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do the dark labels for the photos, and I'm going to do the light labels for my 2x2 squares. However, I don't have the exact same labels. I've used them all up, or I used most of them up. I have like 1 or 2 left. I can't remember, but not enough to make it look like a pattern going across the 2x2 squares. So like I said before, I do everything on top of the pocket, but not the pieces out of the pocket, because that's just too much shifting for me to deal with. I just get stressed out like a lot. And so anyways, once I realize how I want all this stuff to go, then the struggle is my pocket opens on the other side and I'm gonna have to pull all these pieces out. So that's kind of annoying. But for these 2 photos going across the top, which they're not the exact same photo and they weren't even taken at the exact same spot, but I don't have a lot to say about them, except for what one is and what the other one is. And so I thought I'd bring the label going across both pages, and then my journaling is going to go across the entire label. But I didn't want my journaling to be cut in half. And so I cut the label first, or I cut the photos apart first, and then wrote down what I was going to write down. So yeah. Anyways, and then we also have a really cool conveyor belt that goes across a major haul road, and we call it the London Bridge. It's just something that stuck with it since we, engineered it and designed it and went across with it. I don't know exactly why we named it the London Bridge, but that's what it's always been called. And it's actual, like when you go to work on it and build a work order for it, it's called the London Bridge. Not conveyor belt to, the secondaries or anything like that. So anyways, we actually have a road called the Pineapple Express too. And when we do a work order to that, it is also named in our computer, the Pineapple Express. We try to make the job fun. We try to, just put a little bit of something in it. It's like I said, it's a mine site. It's dirty, it's gross, it's nasty. And so where we can add humor or where we can lighten up the mood, we try to. And, the best part is the big bosses upstairs that, come in and inspect. They don't mind. They think it's nifty. They think it's neat that, we enjoy our jobs. And so it's pretty cool. In all honesty, they always are like, well, who came up with that one? And, stuff like that, or where did that come from? And they want to know, they enjoy it too. So plus they enjoy seeing their employees happy as well. So happy employees mean good work, right? All right. So basically what I'm doing is I'm gluing everything going across the layout. Now I do have to strategically place some of these embellishments because I'm getting bulky and I don't want that bulk to be on both sides of my layout or both sides of the pocket, or all it's going to do is try to squeeze its way out because it's too thick. So I am definitely trying to make it all work. Now I didn't pull out every single little square because of the fact that I wasn't working with every square. I was only working with these 8 squares. And yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that instead of them going straight across like in the photo, I wanted them staggered. I wanted them to be of interest, and having them be at different lengths or different heights or however you want to say that to me adds an interest and a design to the layout as well, instead of just I picked 3 of my pockets to have 3 random labels going up and down. Well, now I feel like it's more of a design when I do it that way. So I do struggle a little bit because I can't remember. I can't remember which pocket things go in. And then of course I'm not paying attention. So I'm trying to, do it on the wrong side. You guys, I never said that, I was a smart person. Honestly, I never said that. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that my little words match going all the way across. I do know where I had my oxide pieces. I just don't remember which pieces went on this side. So I'm going from the back side, and I was struggling. So some of the pieces don't match, and here's where you could tell where I switched my oxide 2 pieces. The bottom 2 pieces of the photos, I accidentally switched them. I wasn't paying attention, and so yeah, it was a bad idea. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I am going to put my title down in this one little pocket. I'm going to create my own title. And by adding these gears, it will bring the eye away from the fact that the pattern doesn't match the little squares up on top in the 2x2s. So yeah, it's going to be like a trick of the eye, but I really didn't do much to it. So I didn't want to add a whole lot, but I did feel like I needed to add this tag for some reason. I wished I would have left it out because it kind of does throw me off. But in the end, I do kind of sort of like it. It's just going to say my unique job, because I do feel like this is pretty unique. It's not an everyday job that you hear about. It's not, something that somebody goes around bragging about, but I loved it. So yeah, I'm going to brag. Yep. So I'm using the word unique to hold all my embellishments together, or my pieces together. That way I can go ahead and glue them down as a set. And of course, this one didn't stick very well, but I will glue that back in place like so. Yay! I absolutely love how this little card comes out. Again, the little tag does look like it kind of is an afterthought and that it didn't belong. I should have inked it white, like the edge of it white, but that's okay. And that's it. I am done. Thank you so much for listening to me garble on about a job that I used to have, but when you love something, you want to talk about it, right? I did also use some teeny tiny micro paper clips to hold those two in place. There are certain pocket pages that I have to do this with. It's annoying and, it is what it is, but I do enjoy using the pocket pages very, very much. And so I do what I have to do to get it to work. All right, I so appreciate it. Here are loads and loads of pictures. I didn't take a picture of every pocket, but hey, I wanted to. Also, I did leave links down below for you guys to check out everyone else that is playing along. On Mondays, we try to follow a mood board. On Saturdays, we try to follow a sketch. And on Sundays, we try to follow, Sundays is a sketch. Saturday is a scrap lift. And then the rest of the week are just random pins that we have. Some are sketches, some are interior designs, some are like ornaments. I've seen people do ornaments. That's awesome. It's just so cool seeing what everyone is inspired by. Honestly, I think it is amazing. So go check it out, and I will check you all later. Bye.